The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, the best podcast on Facebook and YouTube, Byron. I don't care what anybody says, and Dave, it definitely is. We cover a little bit of everything. We cover local news. We cover regional news. We cover state news. We cover national news and world news, because I do have the guy that knows that stuff. He's sitting right here to my left. That's Byron Bagwell, but I'll give him a formal introduction here in just a minute. But anyway, Byron, you do know that this show is worldwide, right? I mean, we have hits from everywhere, worldwide.
Don't you mean universe-wide? That goes to
everywhere. Everywhere. Hey, from the Far East to South America to North America to Hawaii, you name it, we've got it covered right here on the Spot with David Rodgers.
Go out to the People's Republic of China.
I didn't say that, no, and I'm not going to. They may watch it. Yeah,
I doubt that very seriously.
And if they did, maybe they can learn a little something. But anyway,
learn how to get themselves killed.
Well, yeah, or hey, maybe we can put a reason in their head and listen to reasoning, and maybe they'll get it. Don't hold your breath on that.
No, they get it. They just can't say it.
Say it. That's it. There you go. Anyway, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Hey, let me introduce the crew. First and foremost, Mr. Austin Stevens, the weather guru, better known a.k.a. as Mike Burrish. He's not here tonight.
Mike Burrish.
He's not here tonight. We hope to have Mr. Mitchell Gunner come on, but if not, I'm sure he'll chime in. And, hey, you know who he is? He's Mike Joy. Mike Joy. Hey, man, one of the best race car announcers that I have ever heard is Mike Joy. You think so? I would go. There's others. Waltrip is good. I mean, there's some others.
I'm sort of prejudiced about that.
Yeah.
Because I can't get boogity, 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 let's go racing boys out of my head ever when I watch a NASCAR race, because that's awful, man. And honestly, there's a lot of people that love a lot of different race car drivers.
Right.
Number 3 is the most obvious one.
Obviously, yeah.
And I don't even have to say his name, call him the Dominator, call him whatever you want to.
One of the best drivers I've ever seen.
The guy that I loved as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Was Darrell Waltrip.
I just like Darrell Waltrip, and now he's announcing races, and he does a good job.
Not anymore. He retired.
Well, he did retire. So anyway, that's Mitchell. To my left, ladies and gentlemen, with a formal introduction, he is the great Maharaja. He is the Byron Bagwell. Welcome into the show, B. You like that? And I knew you would know the great Maharaja. Or should I say?
Calling me the Maharishi, which is where he probably got that from. But that's all right. I will take the step down from that. Thank you.
It makes me want to bow.
Yeah. Hey, better yet, what I should have said is the new modern day Maharaja, the Byron Bagwell.
I'll take the high priest of the Church of Pain.
Well, yeah, you're right. We will do that. To my right, he is the director and producer of our show. He is the Dancing Destroyer. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you go back and watch You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer, Dave was actually one of the dancers on that video with MC Hammer. He was doing that shuffle, and I'm telling you, man, he did an excellent job. There he is right there, the Dancing Destroyer, Dave Holland. And I'm going to give you a music reference. I am the Sergeant Major. You know who that is. You know who sings that. That song is Jet by Paul McCartney and Wings. I'm the Sergeant Major David Rodgers. Glad to have you along on a beautiful Tuesday night here in good old Start, Florida at our studios, the home of Harry Business. And Dave, tonight's show is sponsored by Harry Business. Dave, you gonna pull that off?
I'm just glad you didn't say CSM.
Yeah. There you go. Shit, my netty. All right, Dave, you gonna pull that up? Tonight's show is sponsored by. Oh, Dave's like, okay, yeah, I got you, David. I got you. Here we go. Sponsored by Miracle Automotive and Towing. Don't pray for a miracle.
Call Miracle.
904-368-1114 for your automotive and repair needs. Call Kurt Miracle. As I said, don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle. And then, of course, our host, as always, that will be Harry Business, Dave's shop, Dave Holland's Harry Business. 1993 when that was established, David.
Wow.
That's a long time. Almost 31 years of business. Located here in Start, Florida, right here on North Temple Avenue, 904-964. Finish it off, David. There it is. What is it?
333A.
Daggum, it looks like a 5 from here. But anyway, sponsored by Harry Business. Good. Welcome into the show. Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland, Dave Rodgers. Hope to have Mitchell Gunner on with us. We are the DOR, the Defenders of the Republic. And thank you, Neil Bortz. We are the new high priest. You finish it off.
Of the Church.
Of the Painful Truth. So welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night that Byron's got for us tonight, 2 of them. So let's bow our head and let's go to prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we have with our brotherhood, the new high priest of the Church of the Painful Truth, and the DOR, the Defenders of the Republic, as we bring this show to all of our viewers and anybody that's watching, whether it's around the world, whether it's here locally, that the information that we give out, that it goes to them and they can decipher and determine what they want to do with that information, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the freest and greatest and most powerful country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America. The red, white, and blue, dear Lord, bleeds through all of us, dear Lord. Put your hand over this great nation, dear Lord, as we've got some things that we need to fix within this great country. But I tell you, dear Lord, with your guiding hand and your touching hand, we can fix these things as required. Thank you, dear Lord, for our military forces, all our armed forces, dear Lord, each and every one of those men and women that have served in the past and in the present, dear Lord, whether they're serving abroad or here domestically, dear Lord, that you keep a hedge of protection over them as they are defending our democracy, dear Lord, from international terrorism, domestic terrorism, and any other thing that wants to invade this beautiful country, dear Lord, that you just keep a hedge of protection over those men and women that are sacrificing their lives each and every day. Thank you for our first responders, dear Lord, each and every one of those men and women that go out and serve the public, dear Lord, that you keep a hedge of protection over them and you bring them back safely to their families as well. Also, all the American workers, dear Lord, everybody that wakes up each and every morning, they go to work and they try to make this country work again, dear Lord, and just make it prosperous. So, dear Lord, each and every one of them, you know who you are. Thank you for what you do each and every day for our country. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them. You know what their ailments are, dear Lord. You know what they need. You know what they require. Put your hand on them, dear Lord, and make everything more comforting for them. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day, that it goes to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you for this time. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for today. Thank you for the rest of the week. Thank you just letting us be here, dear Lord. And in your name, we pray. Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. All right. Let us. Oh. I'll tell you what, B. Lead the pledge. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Mitchell Gunner's at the door.
Okay.
So let me go get him. Y'all do the
right.
pledge, and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
We are back, and we're about to have Mr. Mitchell Gunner join us. David just went outside to let him in. And guess what? Here we go. They are all here tonight. All of the defenders of the Republic
Yeah,
are
we're
here.
here. We're here tonight. You got
Yes,
that
sir.
right. I just let Mitchell Gunner in. He was at the front door. Thank you, Dwight. I appreciate that, and I'm going to acknowledge each and every one of you guys. I'll slide over, B. You want to slide in the middle tonight?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
So, a little more, David?
put me in the driver's seat.
Put
There
you in
go.
the driver's seat. There we go.
All right. Are you ready for the quote of the night?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I swear by my life and my love of that, I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine. I swear by my life and my love of that, I will never live for the sake of another man, nor another man to live for mine.
Mitchell, do you have a guess on that, brother?
It's not a founding father, is it?
No.
Oh, but it's definitely based on the philosophies that the founding fathers had. Oh, yeah.
Boy, I have no clue. Dave, do you have any?
No clue.
Can you read it in Greek?
No, this was written in English.
Oh, so it's an English person.
It's an author too. It's actually a character in one of the author's books.
Hemingway?
She wrote multiple great books, and that's about as far as I know.
Is that as far as you're going to go with it, she?
Male? Female?
Female author.
Female author. Mitchell?
I don't know.
It's not Rand, is it?
Ayn Rand. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yep.
Daggum, David, I get a cookie. Okay, but when he said she, I would have never guessed it if you wouldn't have said she.
Said she. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more second.
All right, go ahead.
One more real quick. And my mother does not get to answer this. We can ignore reality, but we cannot. We can ignore reality, but we can. Why can't I speak tonight? We can ignore reality, but we cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. We can ignore reality, but we cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality.
I know it's probably not, but that sounds like a quote for a founding father.
It's not.
It's not.
Very much, once again, based in the beliefs of our founding fathers.
I'm going to take a stab. It ain't right. I'm going to take a stab, okay, B?
Yeah.
Since I got Rand right, I'm going to say that it's Winston Churchill.
That's a great guess, but it's not Winston Churchill.
I didn't figure.
It could have been something he would say.
He would say.
Especially during World War II.
Can I read that? Could you read that back again?
Sure.
All right, listen in, guys, because y'all are playing in this too as well. We
can ignore reality, but we cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. My mother does not get to play because she is the one that sent that to me.
Was it a president?
Then was it Shirley Bagwell?
No, Lord.
I'm just joking.
It could be. Honestly, my mother has told me things like
Yeah.
that before. Not in those words, but she's told me things like that before.
I'm gonna take a stab again. Probably not right. I'm gonna say Dwight Eisenhower.
Nope, I cannot believe that none of y'all have
I say
looked at my new
Doolittle.
profile
Who?
picture.
Doolittle.
Ooh, not bad.
That's a good
That's a
guess.
good guess. That's a
good guess.
great guess.
Doolittle and the Raiders.
Yeah.
World War II.
World War II. Yeah.
World War II. I ain't got a clue. Let me see if anybody else got a clue besides your mom.
Lincoln.
It's not a president. It is not a founding father. It's not a She's not a politician at all.
Again. She again.
Oh,
She
he
again.
went way.
My
around
toxic
the
masculinity is showing tonight.
Yes, it is. How about that, huh? I have no clue.
Amelia Earhart.
Nope.
Okay.
Around the same time, same era.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Nope.
Is it a person of importance?
Oh, Lord. I think she probably wrote one of the most important books for everybody to read, especially when they're young, ever to be written. The problem
Made a couple movies out of
The
it.
problem is it's 1,000 pages long, and nobody has the attention span anymore to read and comprehend stuff.
All right, since we got to move on, B, give it to us.
It's Ayn Rand again.
Ah! Pooey on that.
That's just not right.
That's just not right. Mitchell, you come on the show and guess what? Byron starts dumping that stuff on us, doesn't he?
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, look, how many people read Atlas Shrugged when they were in high school?
Yeah, of course,
That's
of
our
course.
generation.
Yeah, you're right. No,
Yeah,
that's right.
Most of the time, one teacher did Atlas Shrugged, and the other one did 1984.
Yep.
So there's a good chance that a lot of people out there actually know exactly who Ayn Rand is, especially because they made a movie out of Atlas Shrugged.
Right.
And honestly, I don't agree with everything she says in that book, but the good majority of things that she says in that book are absolutely pertinent to today, to the point it will scare you to death.
All right. Byron, I've got a question real quick for you. When is Mom's actual birthday? Shirley's actual birthday.
Oh, no, we're not going there.
Oh, we are going there.
I think it's the 13th.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think.
You think?
I think
Okay.
it's the 13th and not the 12th.
Okay. We're no. Anyway, Shirley Bagwell is watching tonight.
You're trying to get me in
Shirley.
trouble. with
No,
me.
no, because I'm getting myself
Burn,
in trouble.
Burn. Sugar a little bit. Burn.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do that
starting-
all the time. I hadn't done that this year.
Yeah.
It's the 13th.
Yeah, okay.
It's tomorrow.
So it's tomorrow. So happy early birthday to you, Mrs. Shirley Bagwell. Good evening, Dwight Allen. Olivia Hill from Ghana, Africa.
Hello, Olivia.
Hello, Olivia.
Hello, Mom.
Hello, Mom.
What's up, brother?
Hey, and guess what? Dave's daughter-in-law's watching. Liz Tillery Holland is watching.
Hello, Liz.
Mitchell Gunner says he's at the front door. No, he ain't. He's right here.
I wasn't.
Dwight, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We try to get a good prayer each and every week. Again, good evening, Shirley. Dwight Allen. Just ate dinner at the Downtown Grill. Delicious as always. Love Chrissy and Ricky Thompson. Absolutely. Got a great place down there. We host trivia down there each and every Thursday night that we do have it. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Look at here, Dwight Allen. Lots of gray in the group. My goodness, Dwight Allen. Really?
That's because we're becoming distinguished gentlemen.
Yep. That's it. That's it. That's it. Shirley Bagwell says, you know, I know. Yep, that's about the quote. Dwight Allen said, never read it. And Shirley Bagwell says, thank you, guys. And everybody else that's on that I haven't gotten a comment from, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, along with other hosts here, Byron Bagwell, the host of On the Spot Motorsports Media, and also one of our hosts. He's back with us tonight, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Got him in here. We want to talk a little bit to him about what happened this weekend over at the Gator Nationals. And we also have a big announcement that we're going to be making as well during the show. Mr. Dave Holland, our director and producer, he's here with us. Gentlemen, say hello to everybody, will you?
Hello.
Hello.
There we
everybody.
go. Everybody. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And
girls.
there you go. Well, but you didn't do the miscreants then.
Patriots, infidels, and miscreants.
Miscreants. That's right. You got to do that. Steve Riggins says, talk about who you guys think Trump will pick as VP. We'll do that. We'll do that here as we get to that segment of the show.
There's something else going on with that.
Yes,
if
there
I have
is.
time to discuss tonight, I will.
Yeah,
there's some
Yep.
shenanigans
Going on with that. Yeah, you're right. But Stephen, yeah, we'll get to that. At least we'll touch it, and maybe we can take it if we have time. So, again, welcome in. I'm going to just get right to it. Mitchell Gunner's joining us tonight. Mitchell, are you going to be able to stay the whole show with us, or are you going to have to go?
I probably will have to take off at some point in time.
Okay. So
I'm wore out.
I know you
Yeah.
are. And when I was talking to you yesterday, you sounded very tired. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Mitchell Gunner to the show. Mitchell, thank goodness you're here. People's been asking me about the Gator Nationals, what went on this weekend. I'm going to give you the floor. You can talk about that and the other thing that you wanted to talk about as well.
Sure, I'll tell you what. It was a great weekend. Besides Saturday with the rain, kind of interrupted qualifying for Pro Stock and Pro Stock motorcycle. But I tell you what, one of the greatest moments was Gage Herrera had a jaw-dropping pass there in eliminations on Sunday where he ran 204 miles an hour on a Suzuki, and that was a new track record for Gainesville Raceway.
Now, I was with you last year when that other guy broke it, right? Or was it him that broke it as well? You remember what
It
was
was probably
Saturday?
Gauges.
It was probably Gages as well? Okay. Yep.
And he's not. That's a motorcycle.
That's a motorcycle.
in a quarter. That's not a rocket bike. That's a motorcycle.
Yeah, oh, absolutely it is. Go ahead, Mitch.
I mean, it was really surprising to see 204 miles an hour out of a Pro Stock motorcycle. I mean, they have been running around 102, but it was just, and the bike was very consistent in its times, in qualifying sessions. But I wanted to make sure that I got the ET right. It was 6.639 seconds.
Jeez.
That's what he ran the quarter in at 204 miles an hour. So really remarkable.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, you look at these men and women that drive these cars, they're absolute athletes.
Have to be.
They work out just like football players, baseball players do. Another big highlight, as you probably could see if you go back to our page, we interviewed Erica Enders at the end of the day. She finally got her first Gator National win.
Cool.
Over 20-something years of racing there at the track and in the Pro Stock category. Finally topped that off. And I think she only has one other track on the circuit that she has never won at before.
Wow.
Great achievement.
She don't look, Mitchell, you said she don't look a day over 25 I just made some points with Erica.
They stay in shape.
Yeah, they do.
What
Yeah,
can you
they
say?
I love her, man.
And the Colettas,
She's a sweetheart, man.
Coletta Motorsports, done a great job. They were able to double up, win in Funny Car and Top Fuel.
Yep.
With Sean Langdon in the Top Fuel car, and J.R. Todd in the Funny Car.
Yep.
When you can take a team and you can win both nitro classes, that's a big accomplishment. And one of the cool moments was actually watching Steve Torrance and Billy Torrance have to duke it out. They're in the quarterfinals, and Steve struck the tires when he took off, and just a few moments later, Billy goes down track and he blows the supercharger off.
Oh.
Steve can't get back into the car, and so his dad cruises to a round win there.
Jeez.
But I talked to the Capco team afterwards. Of course, I got a mutual friend, Clark Papke, that works there for them, and so they were pretty satisfied that they were leading out of there and 3 and 4 in the points. And like I said, it was a beautiful day. It was a great opportunity to do a lot of networking with a lot of teams. So we've got some drivers that are be coming on here probably in the next couple of months, getting some phone numbers and some contacts.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting a little bit of a bad signal, but hey, we're going to try to keep it up and back. So just if we lose you, please come on back, please. Dave is diligently working on that, so just stay tuned with us. Go ahead, Mitchell.
But it
Or
was,
did you need to say something?
I wanted to say something. Mitchell had an opportunity to actually interview for a short time racing royalty. And most people that have been around racing of any type have heard this name before this weekend. And there he was sitting right beside our very own Mitchell Gunner, and that was Big Daddy Don Garland's. I saw that and I went,
Wow.
wow, that's like Earnhardt or Waltrip or somebody like that for NASCAR. Or now I'm drawing a blank on the I can't even think of the name of that type of racing now. I'm losing my mind.
drag racing?
No, the other racing. The
NASCAR?
No. Formula One.
Formula One. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Formula One. I mean, and there are great racers that have been in that, or saying that you got an interview with Ferrari or more than Ferrari's equivalent here in the United States when he made the Ford Cobra, or his Cobra actually.
And Byron, I'm glad you said that, because Mitchell is mainly talking about NHRA. That's his love. That's what he does on the weekends when he's not covering races or whatever. He races himself. But believe you me, you go onto that page, and I'm going to let him spruce up that page here in just a second. You go on that page, there's NASCAR there, there's NHRA, there's Formula, whatever he can get his hands on, he does. And like Byron said, he's got some great interviews. He's always got somebody of importance and of some kind of figure in some sort of racing, mainly NHRA, because that is his love. But hey, you're talking about a great show, and you're talking about a page that's on fire. It is absolutely on fire. This is the time that page is going to catch fire. And he does a great job keeping up with that page, along with his partner. And I tell you, man, you found your good one, man. It's a match made in heaven.
400,000 plus viewers. Right? You added this weekend.
Yeah.
Overall,
over 400.
400,000.
400, no, over 400 more followers.
Followers. Okay,
not
followers.
followers.
But what you have as far as views overall, probably for the weekend?
Now, Erica Ender's post-race interview was over 4,000 yesterday.
You see?
I recorded. They ended up having to change an engine out after third round of qualifying on Saturday, and they changed the motor out in 15 minutes. You know, that's breaking it down, rolling the car back, pulling out the short block, dropping another short block in. Well, it's actually kind of like a long block because the heads are on it.
Right.
But they changed it out, put it all back together in about 15 minutes, and that has had over 17,000 views. Earlier, before the Gator Nationals, I was out there for Tony Stewart. I was asked by NHRA to do some recording and videoing for them so they can use the stuff for promotional stuff. And I did post one of the videos of him making a run down track, and I clipped it off so no one would see the ET or mile per hour because it was a closed session. So we don't want to give that information out to anybody.
Right.
And that I think it's up to 200,000 views. That video is. But yeah, we're sitting 11,700 something followers now.
Wow.
So it's been growing. Speaking about going to the Gator Nationals gives me and Robert a great opportunity to network. Actually talked to Don Garlitz, talked to his daughter. She was there. We're going to try to work something out where we can go down to Don Garlitz Museum and possibly do a podcast there in the engine room. I think it's very important to go do it in the engine room so we can talk about all the different engine combinations over the years. And he's got all those different engines sitting in there.
Wow.
If you haven't been to Don Garlitz Museum,
Yes.
you have to stop by there. It's not much money to go in and look around. And trust me, if you're a really big fan of racing in general, doesn't have to be drag racing, you'll probably be in there in both of the buildings for probably close to 4 hours. I mean, it's really neat. A lot of history there.
And it's not that far. It's in Ocala.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Hop, skip,
literally
and a jump.
right off of 75, and it's not. It's not the far side of Ocala. It's actually the Stark
The near side,
The
yeah,
near side.
the near side.
Hawthorne Stark area side of.
Right. And also was able to talk to Shirley Madowney. Of course, a lot of people know her.
Yes.
I gave her a card, and hopefully we'll be able to get her on. I told her I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of drag racing again. I know we need to keep that alive, especially for females who want to get into the sport. She pretty much paved the way for them to get there. And I tell you what, it wasn't always a delightful time for Shirley Madowney to go through the things that she went through to get where she is today.
So overall,
and she's still very active. She's usually at every race, signing autographs. She sells these posters, and the money that is created off the poster sales and her autographing it actually goes to Shirley's Kids, an organization. So she's trying really, really hard to help kids out in their need. We had Bruce Larson there. Bruce Larson, a great legend in the sport. Frank Holly. And don't forget Daryl Gwynn and what he does. You know, they do a track walk every year. I think it's like $20 for you to pay to get a wristband. You get to walk down the track with some of the drivers and their crew. And that money helps provide wheelchairs and stuff for kids that are paraplegics. And so he's a paraplegic. You know, years ago he got in a terrible accident, and he's uses his name for a good cause. So.
Good deal. So it sounded like a really good weekend over at the Gator Nationals. If you've never been, Mitchell we all encourage you to go. It's a really good time over there. A lot of people. When the weather's great, like Mitchell said, you can't beat that kind of thing there, man. I tell you, it's a great experience. You need to go once in your lifetime. You need to put that on your bucket list, don't you, really, Mitchell?
Definitely. And, and if you don't think you'll be able to make it to the Gator Nationals, I want to give a shout-out to Josh and Brittany Hart that owns Bernie's Speed Shop down in Ocala. Yeah. They have an open house, and they have a lot of drivers come in, and they sit at the table, and they sign autographs for fans for a couple of hours. And it gives you an opportunity to get one-on-one with them. What was so funny this year, I was asked for a couple of autographs.
Yeah, that was funny.
Took me really by surprise. Of some people who watches our podcast and follow our page. Just goes to show you that it's growing. A lot of people like it, and it was really strange of signing one autograph right up underneath the legendary Daryl Gwynn.
Yeah,
it felt really, really weird, but it just goes to show that the page is growing. A lot of people liking the material that we're bringing.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge people that were on the show, and then I'll let you get to that.
That's what I was looking at.
Oh, that's what you were looking at, too. Okay.
Yeah.
So, we stopped with Steve Rigdon. Judith Young, if you want to bring those by, that's not a problem with us. If you want to run them up here, listen what she says, David. Evening, guys. Got cinnamon rolls for you and didn't have a chance to swing by the studios. She said strawberry, peaches and cream, and lemon blueberry for Byron. Good to see Mitchell Gunner on the show tonight. Welcome in the model. Sharon Petiprin's on with us. That's who said that. So, yep, we're glad to have him too. Byron said, thank you. We'll figure out how to get him.
I'm standing at the front
Don't
door
let
waiting
him.
for
Don't let
him
him
to
come
be
get him.
delivered.
Yeah,
Won't
don't
get
let
any
me. Yeah, you won't get any of it if I come get it. I tried the lemon blueberry. Holy smoke, she said. But Byron said, that sounds better than good. J.D. Norman, welcome in, brother. My homies, absolutely not much, J.D. I tried to get a hold of you a couple of times. Need to talk to you about a couple of things. But we'll do that here later on this week. And Gary Wallace is on. We've had Gary Wallace on the show. Remember talking about the Pee Wee football and all that? Yeah. Gary Wallace. Hey, good evening to you too, partner, and thank you for tuning in and everybody else that's tuning in. If there's something that you want to talk about, please put it in the comments. Me and Byron and Dave and Mitchell, we're monitoring this. Anything that you want to talk about. We just pick topics, B, because sometimes we don't get a lot of topics through there.
Well,
So
and the other thing is if you've noticed this, that it's almost like we will go with what people start talking about.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times we plan other things to do, and then we run with topics that people want to hear about and talk about.
Exactly.
So, I do want to say one thing before we get off the sports thing, and then we'll let Mitchell continue to talk about it, because I'm really interested to hear about the rest of his Gator National deal and his other announcement. I'm really interested to hear.
I definitely want to hear the other announcement. So, yeah, definitely.
Really quick, on the 6th of April, David, and
Billy Rayburg.
Billy Rayburg, along with the coaches from Bradford High School football team, will be doing auditions for kickers, punters, and field goal specialists. Maybe not all of them. Maybe a combination field goal specialist kicker. Maybe a combination of all three. But we're looking for people to sign up for Bradford County's football team, so they will have good kickers. If you have a soccer background and
We encourage it.
you want to play, especially if you're talking about kicking off and kicking field goals, please come out, because it's a
never know.
It's a winning program.
Yeah.
The last 2 years the program's been on fire, and the year before they should have went to state, and then last year they did, came up just short. And we encourage anybody that's interested in playing high school football that's got some kicking background, or maybe think you can get into it and be a decent kicker. Please come out, and we'll support you in any way we can.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. We're going to be putting that out on Facebook and some other areas as well. Billy Rayburg's working on some of that as well. So that'll be coming up. We're probably going to put it here on the podcast too, David. We'll see if Mitchell will run it on his side as well. So we want to make sure that we create a flyer that we can attach to both, so we can definitely show that, and we're definitely going to put it on our page. Yeah, good evening, Rayno. Yeah, Barbie. That's my birthday, the 6th, Byron. Y'all should be making me a cake. Well, okay, hang on a minute. So we got 9th, 10th, and 11th, too. So, right, B? So we got Byron's is the 9th, Dwight's is the 10th, and mine's the 11th. So you should be making us a cake.
21st.
First.
I've got another friend that
Yeah.
it's either the 23rd or the 24th. I can't even remember. And it's all a bunch of
There's a bunch of birthdays. Shelley's is the 29th.
a bunch of crazy Aries
Yeah.
running around.
Shelley's is the 29th. So, yeah, there's a lot, of course, going on. Yeah, but Barbie said, yeah, but mine's first. Byron's mama makes awesome cakes. Yes, she does. No doubt about that, for sure. And we definitely love the Tornadoes, no doubt about it. Mitchell has filled in on calling games. So he knows he's in love with the Tornadoes. We are as well, since we do the ball games. David films a lot of times, so we're all about the Tornadoes. And look, I think another great season's coming up, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. Mitchell, I want to turn it back over to you, and you can finish up with the Gator Nationals and then go into your other thing, or however you want to do it. I'm giving you the floor.
Well, one of the things that we did this year at the Gator Nationals is something new that even other media outlets doesn't do. We named Most Improved Drivers of the Year in categories of Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock and Pro Stock Motorcycle, and we had a Comeback of the Year award. And we actually had those made, and we took them out to the track on Saturday, and we presented those. In Top Fuel, it went to the new champ, Doug Coletta, and I'll tell you what, he was really appreciative. He invited us all in to the pit area and took a picture with us all.
Nice.
And he said this is really neat because, usually they get a lot of mentioning, but they don't get, hardware from media places. We went down to Chad Green. He was our pick for Funny Car. Matt Harford was our pick for Pro Stock. And then we had to share the award this year for Pro Stock Motorcycles for two young ladies, Kelly Klotz and Gianna, and I'm going to mess up her last name, but it's Mike Salinas' daughter, so I don't want to mess up her last name.
We'll just leave her at that.
Yeah, we split the awards with them, so each one of them got Most Improved Pro Stock Motorcycle Rider of the Year, and the comeback of 2023 was Erica Enders. She had a terrible start to the season. She was actually the first, I want to say, 6 races. She was in 12th in points. And she was able to turn her season around and win her 6th championship. So she has won 6 championships now in Pro Stock and has a great following. You know, I just get a kick out of watching all the kids run up to her and get autographs and stuff from her. And that's what the sport's all about is, you know, to cater to the young and make sure that sport keeps on thriving and moving forward. We're at a crossroads right now where the government's trying to push EV vehicles down people's throats, and you know, I think it's gonna backfire. For one, you can't charge them when it's freezing cold.
Nope.
They catch on fire still. You know, if they want EVs in racing, then they need to make their own separate class and let the combustion engine stay alive both in NASCAR and in drag racing. You know, because who wants to sit there and just hear tires move on the track?
Well, the other thing is where are they going to get the power to run these vehicles?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the battery packs that they're supposing to use in NASCAR, they can run, I want to say, 250 laps. So they can have a 250 lap race on batteries full charge.
Well,
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all good. That's all good. But I'm talking about where are they going to actually get the power from to run all of these if they turn everything into vehicles like that?
That's the thing. You're still going to have coal burn power plants. It's to me, it's not cheaper because you have to have an electrician come out and set everything up. You got to have a place to plug your vehicle in, and then guess what? Your light bill goes up.
Yeah.
So, and when you go to these charging places, you have to pay a fee to use them, and then on top of that, pay for the power for charging.
The electrical grid right now can't support it, and that's the problem. Where are we going to get the money right now? We're already in a ton of debt to actually upgrade the electrical grid to support it. And then the other thing is, people talk about fussing about coal and gasoline and diesel being terrible from it. They have to have some sort of power to generate that electricity to fill those batteries up. It's
And the main thing, what you're going to do with those batteries when they're
Right.
done.
Has anybody ever seen a lithium mine? Have you ever seen what a lithium mine does to the environment?
Yeah, as soon as a bird hits it, the bird's dead.
Yep. Yep.
In the pools that they have, if a bird lands out there, that bird is dead. Like that.
The problem and the issue with it is it's not reality. It's just not reality yet. You want to say this is a great thing to do, fine, make it work.
Right.
And the thing is, you know, you look at the automotive industry. Take for instance organizations like PRI and SEMA. You know, if they came up with all these electric vehicles and they done away with the combustion engine, look at all the people who's going to lose their jobs. I mean, you got places that manufacture parts like Holley, K&N. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Elder Brock's still around?
Elder Brock.
Yeah, all those guys. Yeah.
Look at all these transmission companies.
Yeah.
You know.
It goes on and on and on. When
Yeah.
you start talking about making that big of a change,
Right.
you better make sure the technology is good enough to make that change. The only person that makes a good one is Elon Musk. And it's still not that good because it's not cost effective. That's the biggest issue. Are you going to tell a person that can afford a 10-year-old vehicle, used vehicle, maybe even further than that, now at the price of used vehicles, that they're going to have to give up that vehicle, we're going to stop using gas and diesel, and buy an electric vehicle at $60,000?
And then when the battery pack goes out, you have to spend anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 for the batteries.
Right.
And then how about if a motor goes out?
Yep. Yeah,
You
you're
gotta buy a
talking,
motor.
you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in parts, like you said, if something breaks. You think it's expensive now? Wait till it happens there. It's gonna. I bet it doubles. You think, Mitchell?
Oh, it's going to be.
Maybe more than that.
Look, Dodge just recently got itself in big trouble for what they did with the diesel truck. And you know about what happened with that, Mitchell? Have you heard about what happened with that?
Is that the Echo diesels?
No. This was not. Yeah, was it the Echo diesels?
I think
Anyway, what they did was they monked with the computer systems in it to basically keep the performance right so they could continue to make diesel engines effectively.
Excuse me, Brian. Yes, I'll get into that. Yes, I knew that we were talking about breaking news. Yeah, it's all over the place. I promise you I'll get into that. We're about to wrap this up. Yes, I promise I'll get into that.
And really, the most important thing about it, I'm sorry, and I'll make
No, it's okay. I just think
Mitchell needs to talk
about some other things.
Some other stuff too.
Yeah.
Really, what it comes down to is how many more, of these basically laws are they going to write until people start going and companies start going, no. Mm-hmm. You're going to sue me out of existence? Who's going to make vehicles for you?
Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't want them. I mean, there are a group of people out there that want them, but not everybody wants them.
Right.
If you want to have EV vehicles, fine. That's fine. Have them. People who want them, they can buy them.
I've been seeing a lot of Teslas on the road.
I don't.
Yeah.
If you want to get it, I don't have an issue with it. But I'm not.
But
paying
if you
that
want to
much
drive
money for
300
that.
miles and have to plug it in and wait an hour or so for it to charge to drive 300 miles, guess what? It's going to take you forever to get where your destination. And then if you have to pull something, you're going to cut that.
You're going to cut that in half. Yeah,
and
exactly.
have to charge.
You want to know what I want? I want about a 1990 F-250 double cab diesel that doesn't have all this computer crap in it.
That you can work on yourself,
I
brother.
can work on myself.
Yes.
Gas engine. I don't know how to work on diesels, but I'm sure that I could figure it
You
out
could
with the
figure
help
it
of some
out.
people that know it.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that's what I want. I don't want to have to take my vehicle to a place to get the oil changed, and God forbid anything goes wrong with the computer in the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it affects everything. If the computer breaks down, the engine doesn't work.
Well, Brian, as long as you got air and fire, you can work on a diesel.
Like that.
I don't know anything about doing it because I never had one, and the people that I know that had them, I never took the time to go, hey, how does this work?
Hey, there's a good thing called the internet. I'm sure there's guys that would sit there and show you how to work on stuff.
Oh, it's helped me.
It's helped me out
tremendously.
quite a bit too, in certain things.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
So
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent, but
you're good.
we started talking about vehicles, and that was something that was near and dear to my heart because Dodge basically said, pardon my language, to hell with you. We're going to make a vehicle that's efficient, and we're not going to worry about your regulations. So then they're going to sue Dodge into oblivion?
Well,
you know how dumb that is?
They have already done away with Dodge Chargers, so they will be electric vehicles.
That's
Done away with the Hellcat too, by the way, right?
Yeah,
they're gone too.
done.
that is
The
absurd.
Scat Max.
That is
Scat Max, yep.
absurd.
Yeah, they're all going to be
Yep.
they're all done for right now. But you never know. You know, when things change, hopefully up there in the White House with administration,
With administration,
a lot of that stuff may go away. Well, let's just say this way: it probably won't go away, but it won't be forced down your throat. And nothing should be forced down anybody's throat that lives here in the United States as a citizen. That's their own right to pick and choose how they want to live their own life.
Flush the EPA, period. I mean, flush it down the commode. Do you know how much money each of us pays in
We
taxes?
done got Byron on the tangent, man. I'm just gonna sit back.
To that group that hands out nonsense. It's illogical. There is no reason for it. But we have to do it because we need to save the earth. It's arrogant as crap, and it just makes me furious.
All right, Mitchell. Whoa.
1,022,000
Yeah.
followers.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, that's
11.8 thousand.
1,000.
11,800.
I
Yeah.
wish it was million.
Yeah.
But
That's trends.
That's trends.
Trends.
Trends is a big time number when you start measuring statistics and things like that. Trending means, man, hey, it's ongoing. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, those numbers have been up there for a long time.
Hey, tell you what,
And it goes up and down. We know it fluctuates, but
and tell you something really neat that happened a couple of weeks before the Gator Nationals. NMRA, I got press passes to go there and take pictures and all of that stuff. And, well, whoever they had live streaming their event, they decided to back out.
right.
And they didn't have no one live stream. So On the Spot Motorsports Media provided a live stream for NMRA so it could be broadcasted on Facebook and YouTube. So I was really thankful for them allowing me to do it, and at the same time, I think they were very thankful that I was there willing to do it for
They
them.
won't forget
Well,
you.
no,
Right,
and
right.
look, man, that's that networking he was talking about. That's opening up doors. That's creating things. That's not only going to help. Somebody asked me this. Yes, it's sister pages. It is. So this On the Spot Motorsports Media started because of this. Mitchell was, if y'all remember, for a couple of years was a co-host with us. He had his own segment. Then the love of the racing and everything come into play, and we decided one day at a meeting, hey, Mitchell, what do you think about this idea? Mitchell's like, hey, I'll try it. And then it's just skyrocketed from there.
And we miss him. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, I do.
I miss him because the things that were said and done on the show when he was here, it was even better than well, all right. It was better than just me and you because we all three bounced stuff off of each other.
Well, of course.
And the shenanigans ensued from all three of us.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And
don't know if I
Mitchell has always done. He knows local stuff. He definitely is into local, but he knows the national and the world stuff. But his forte was, the local stuff, the firehouse over there. And speak up, man.
I want to speak on something about that. I want to thank the county commissioners for listening to me and other people in the community because they're actually going to put bunk houses and stuff out there at that fire station. So they just done the groundbreaking.
Yep.
I want to say last week or 2 weeks ago.
March 4th.
March 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good. So that's going to be coming along, and my whole thing was, I want our firefighters and our paramedics to get what they need to be able to function and keep them safe and our community safe at the same time.
You've got it out there. I mean, you might as well make it functional. I mean,
Yeah.
So I want to thank all those commissioners
Absolutely.
for listening and going forth and making this happen for that community out there because you know what? I live out that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. We've actually have called them, once or twice.
Right. Hey, and yes, by the way, there is a city commission meeting going on tonight. Sheriff Gordon Smith was going to join us, but he's over there in that. What's going on in there? I have a suspicion. I don't know the exact agenda. Do you know the exact agenda? I know they're talking about the city clerk, and I know there's a couple of topics that are coming up, and we're going to get into that here in a minute.
At this time, as far as I know, it was not an issue dealing with money as of what that I heard of right now.
Right.
That it had to do something with the election.
Yes.
Something with the election. As what FDLE had to come in and get paperwork and
Right.
all that stuff for. So,
Speaking of elections, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, I know that, first of all, let me close out the Gator Nationals thing. It was a great weekend. Mitchell, I know they had a good time over there. I know it was tiring, but they do good work. You're going to see, if you go to that page, you're going to see all kinds of photos. You did a couple of videos, too, did you not?
yeah, we done an interview, like I said,
Said
post
with-
race with Eric
right,
Enders,
Enders.
and after Friday night's qualifying session. We had Christian Quadra on that joined us for about 15 minutes and went through his qualifying that day. We talked about the sponsors. We try to push sponsors as much as possible when we have them on our podcast, or we do little interviews like that, because without those marketing partners for those drivers, it wouldn't be feasible for them to go. And actually, Christian and Erica are teammates.
Both of you.
Erica qualified number 1, Christian qualified number 2, and how the day played out, they ended up having to run each other in the final. So it was pretty neat to see an all-elite motorsports final. Just one little thing, though. A lot of people think that the Quadras run elite power, which they do, but Christian Quadra does not. They run a totally different engine program than everybody else. But when you see those cars run, and you see their ETs and their mile per hour, how equally matched they are. I mean, I think the field from 1 through 16 was separated by, I don't know, a few hundreds.
Wow.
I mean, it's that close.
It's close.
All right, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. You've just now joined us, and I'll get to your comments here in just a second. I don't want to say he's a special guest because he's always welcome here.
It just depends on what you mean by special.
Well, that's true. That's true.
To be sitting by us, you
gotta be special. But anyway, Mitchell Gunner's with us. He's the host on the Spot Motorsports media page. The Byron Bagwell, the Great Maharaja, the Dancing Destroyer, Super Dave Holland. He's over there. Dave, you need a nap? Me, I know I need one, and I'm your host, David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us. 8:04 Eastern Time. Mitchell, I'm gonna turn the floor over to you one more time before we get in there into some other things. Sad day in Lodi yesterday, and we're gonna get in this morning. We'll get into that. I know people's wanted me to get into that, and I will get into that here in just a few minutes. But I wanted Mitchell to talk about some things that are upcoming for him. And Mitchell, I'm going to turn it over to you one more time, and you can tell our viewing audience what you got coming up.
All right, just first with the Motorsports media page, I'm going to put out a calendar probably here in the next day or two, and I'll have a list of our guests that we're going to be having coming on. I believe on the 21st, we're going to have the gentleman from Callahan. They're going to be building a drag strip out there in Callahan.
Okay, awesome.
But it's kind of different. All cars that run there have to run mufflers for the neighborhood, so it's going to be a kind of a strange deal.
Okay, a little quiet deal there. Okay.
But, they will be able to at times have special events where, cars can run without mufflers. They can have some really fast cars there every once in a while. Just a little agreement that they have with the city of Callahan to be able to build it there. And the gentleman already owns the go-kart track, and that is all located right across from their fairgrounds there in Callahan. So, great things coming on with that. And of course, we've got other guests. We have a Serena Wingust. I've got to email her today. Set up an interview with her. We got Leslie Horn with the Southeast Super Gas Association. We got him coming on next month in April. So a lot of things are happening, and we actually probably could book enough of people to get us all the way through June or July.
Wow.
So that's how good it's coming together. Wow. But to talk about something else that is near and dear to my heart, we had a lot of talk with my family and my wife and other members of the community. I will be throwing my hat into the election cycle for school board for District 4. I think it's very important to run at this election. We have a lot of things going on in our country that's happening to our school system, and I do not want that to happen here in my hometown of my county. And one of the things is, and I might get some feedback from this, but that's okay. But I know there's a lot of transgender stuff going on in our schools today, and that's fine if you want to be transgender. I have no problem with that. One thing I do have, I have a problem with males playing in female sports. to me, if you're born as a man, no matter if you're transgender or not, if you want to participate, you play in a man's sport. If you're a woman, you play in a woman's sport. That's just the way I feel about it. There have been a lot of incidents in basketball games this year throughout high schools throughout the country of guys playing on those girls' basketball teams. They're giving the girls elbows and shoving them down, and actually one school, I think they ended up having 3 of their basketball players hurt because of this one male playing out on the basketball court. There's another thing. I don't think parents should be hushed or silenced. If they have something that they want to bring to the agenda at a school board meeting, as long as they do it the right way, they sign a card, they get their 3 minutes at that podium. I don't care how they feel or how they direct their ways of politics. They have a right to speak. They should not be shut up like they have been done in other parts of the country. I'm not saying that has happened here because it hasn't, but I want to make sure that those type of things don't happen. I also think it's very important if you're sitting on the school board that you ruffle the feathers of the people up there in the state level and also in the federal level. If your school's needing funding from either the state or from the federal government, you pick up the telephone and you call them, because you know what? It boils down to I'm a citizen here too.
Absolutely.
And I'm a parent. Mm-hmm. And I have the right to call them. I'm not worried about ruffling people's feathers. I mean, if that's what their job is. Their job is there to answer you if you have questions. Yeah. And I tell you what, I think our schools are doing pretty well here in Bradford County, but I want to try to bring in more funding for certain areas.
Yes. I mean, we've talked about that a little bit.
ESE is one of those areas that struggle a lot. I talk to a lot of parents, and I want to be able to get the funding, to get the tools that we need in our school system to help those teachers to educate those that are struggling, to try to bring them up as much as possible.
Sure.
Of course, I don't mind telling everybody, Zane, he's dyslexic. He's smart as a whip, but he's dyslexic. And one of the things that I will definitely ruffle the feathers in Tallahassee about, when your child can't read because of dyslexia, they have a thing where all these kids throughout the state of Florida they go to Tallahassee, and they're supposed to pick these kids who are supposed to be read to all texts and answers. Well, they only pick a couple here and there out of all those students at all the counties in the state of Florida. I think that's BS.
They all should get
They all should do it. If they have that problem, they should all be able to receive the help that they need to be educated. And that is not going on right now.
I agree.
And Zane had been looked over several times. This year he finally got it to help him out. And, I look at it, what other kids here in my county did not get the help that they should get, just like Zane does.
Right.
I don't know that this is an actual problem, but it's something I would look at if you're elected and I was in your shoes. I would look at the money that's being allotted to ESOL, and I would see the percentage of people who actually have English as a second language.
Right.
Compared to the funding that they're given, and then I would take that to Tallahassee and go, why are you giving this money to this if we're not using it? It needs to be allocated in a different spot.
Exactly. And in those dollars actually to help ESE, those dollars don't actually come from the state. Those dollars actually come from the federal government. And I've already had a couple talks with Kat Kamek, so she knows where I am on it. I know where she is on it. And it's one of those things I told her, I said, you need me to come up to Washington, D.C., and you want me to speak on the floor of Congress, I'll speak on the floor of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
How important it is for these kids to get the funding that they need to succeed in life. Because that's what it is. We need these kids to be able to succeed in life. We need to put a big emphasis on education. Don't get me wrong, I love sports. 100% I love sports. But we also need to show the same enthusiasm for education of our kids.
And the arts program, too. And I guess that entails what you just said, too. You know, hey, you hear about this. Where can we cut dollars at? Well, you're not going to cut it from the football program. You're not going to cut it from basketball. We're going to cut it from the arts program. I hear that all the time, Mitchell. I know you do, too. Why are we cutting money from the arts program?
Right.
I don't know here. Is it still pretty good in Bradford? I mean, I know the band is still around and the chorus and all that. So, but I know in the bigger cities and the bigger schools.
Well, the thing is, you have to create an atmosphere that kids want to participate in those programs.
Yes.
You have to show them what they are capable of being.
Mm-hmm.
And not just say, hey, we would like you to come to the band.
Right.
Or we would like you to come sing chorus.
Right.
You got to show them how they can affect and be a positive influence in those programs and how that program can be a positive influence in them.
But if you ain't got those programs, you can't bring them into that. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
You got to have those programs, and like you said, you got to entice kids with something within those arts. This used to be a band teacher right here. You'd probably elaborate on it a lot more than I can. But you got to be able to entice those kids to want to play a trumpet, to want to sing, to want to draw, to want to make things. You got to entice them, and to entice them, I think it's got to be a great program there. Like you said, something that's eye-catching, eye-appealing. I want to do it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
None of it's easy.
No, and absolutely not.
Foremost, and the way that not all kids. I am not saying all kids. First and foremost, and I've never thought it was all kids. Right. The way a lot of kids are, they want something right now, and music, and singing, and art does not work that way.
No, you have to work at it. Just like if you're an athlete,
yeah.
You're not going to go out there to track and and run a sub 50-second quarter mile. It's not going to happen.
No,
it builds up over time.
Yeah,
I had one student in all the years that I was teaching that picked up an instrument, and a week later, I looked at like, really? He's like, yeah, I just listened to what you said to do, and just continued to go on and on and on in the book, and pretty much by the end of a week, I'm playing all of it, and it was my responsibility to go. You're playing it. You are right. You're playing it, but you're not playing it in the correct manner.
Right.
While I'm sitting back here with trying to keep my mouth from dropping open, because there are people out there that are that way with the arts too. They just have a natural ability to do it. But that's so rare that it's unbelievable. And you know, we have a society now that
yep,
and the internet that everything is right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's music and singing, music in general, and art. It's not something that people just pick up most of the time and just do. They have to practice it.
And another thing, you know, talk about sports and the upgrades that we've had on our football field, our baseball field, softball field. Mm-hmm. There's one particular spot that still has not
the
had
track and
the
fields.
track.
Yeah, the track
and
the
I want that to be just as good as every other sports facility that we have.
Absolutely.
But it's going to take a lot of time. It's a lot of money. If we want to bring in a rubberized track, before you even do that, that has to be totally taken out, the old track. It has to be built up because it's below
It's below
it's
standard.
below grade.
Yes, it is.
So you have to build that up, because if not, if we put rubber back out there on that track as it is right now, water's going to seep back up underneath it. It's going to break down the adhesive, and it's going to chunk up just like the old track did.
Yeah, and get them to fix the track shack, for good grief.
Yeah,
Well,
it's an eyesore.
that's actually in the plans. I know. Will Hartley's
Yep.
been working on that. We've talked about it several times, and the plan was to probably totally remove that, put a big metal building there. That way you can get all your equipment in and out real easy. Still have a nice place that you can have a nice concessions there. Possibly redo the tower, the timing tower. Bring it up to par. Make sure it's got all electrical and everything that you need to make it easy to run your cables, to keep up with your timing system. I like to see a timing system board put at one end of the track, so
See, what
people
type of
who are there,
grant money?
spectators, are looking. And yes, that's one of the things I would reach out and do. I would be calling Nike, Adidas,
Yep.
Puma, those type of companies to try to bring in those dollars. Gatorade. I don't care if it's 5-hour energy to pay for a timing board.
Yeah.
Talk to them. They pay for a timing board. That gets up there. If it's Coca-Cola, all Coca-Cola products are sold at the track.
Exactly.
If it's anything food related, that particular item will be sold there at the concessions.
Mitchell, and if you get elected, I'm glad this announcement has been made, and we've talked about this. This has been years in the making. I know we've talked about, I'm not wait, and now you stepped up, and now you're going to be an official candidate. But there's one more thing that I would like to see, and I hear this all the time, especially in this county, that I'd like for you to work on if you are elected. I would like for you to work on, and that is keeping teachers in this county.
Yes.
We have such a
turnover
high
rate.
turnover rate.
Yes.
You know, there's counties around us that are paying more money, $5,000-$10,000 a year more. You get a good teacher in here that students love, that's doing a good job, and then all of a sudden there's a position that comes open. I'm using Clay County for an example. That comes open in Clay County, $10,000 more, and they jet. I would like to see.
The one thing to make that happen is we have to have growth here in Bradford County itself to bring in those tax dollars.
Yeah.
We have to have that growth with those taxes, the mill rates and stuff that will help funnel toward the school.
Right.
Those are very important. So we have to grow, and Stark is growing.
Yeah.
It's growing at a I think a pretty decent pace.
It is.
I did hear, unfortunately, that the public still is a no-go now. That's not going to happen.
Good.
And you got to think about Publix too. Publix tend to put their stores in areas where people are a little more, have more income coming in.
Yes.
Because their items are more expensive than you say Winn-Dixie and Walmart, and so they cater a little bit to larger financial people with larger finances to go there and work. And Bradford County just does not have that type of income coming into households here.
Yeah.
Right.
But we could, if we continue growing the county and the city like it's supposed to. And to be able to do that, then you have to refer to something else. You have to refer to infrastructure. We don't have the infrastructure. You got to put the infrastructure in first to get these places to come in. So it's one of those things that the county and the city and these parent companies have to work together to figure out, hey, yes, we want to bring this company here, this company, we want to bring ours here,
Right.
and this one there. How are you going to get water, sewage, electricity to us? And majority of the time, they're going to say, hey, we don't want to be on City of Stark. We want to be on FPL. We want to be on Clay Electric. So if you look, we're getting a new gas station
Yep.
out on 227.
Yep.
I think
getting
that's
what?
going to be a speedway.
Speedway.
That's
Yep.
going to be a speedway.
227.
Yeah, 227's out there on 301.
Right there where you make the turn to go the back way to Graham and Brook.
Yeah, where are they going to build it? Do you know?
Oh, right there,
Right there.
right there at the intersection.
Intersection.
Which side?
It's going to be on the right side. We're going towards Gainesville.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So just
So-
past the old 301 quick stop.
Right,
where you're
right
talking
there where the car lot is, or right there, right in that area, right?
No,
It's
right,
past the
right in the light
light.
there.
Right. No, what I'm talking about. What's on that corner? Nothing. Still. Is
It's
on
on
the
the traffic
sheds?
light.
Yeah, it's a traffic light, but isn't there something that
There's
sits
a
on that
fenced-in
corner?
area
There's like a
where they
church or
sell
something.
Okay,
on the
church,
other
okay,
side.
that- on the other
it was
side,
like
yeah.
a church
Across
there.
the street,
Yeah.
it's a trailer park.
Part. Yeah. So, but any,
So that's being built. So that's going to create a couple of jobs there, and
I did say that.
I'd like to see some warehouse jobs come here, clean energy warehouse jobs, so we don't have to worry about a lot of pollutants. That will put a lot of people to work. Could we support a hub for DHL? That would be really nice. You already have Amazon and UPS pretty much taking up Gainesville, and they got a big hub down in Ocala. Why couldn't we bring in a company or try to bring in a company like DHL that's going to have people working 3 shifts? That would be perfect. But you got to have that infrastructure. You got to bring the companies in here, and then the tax revenue dollars will trickle down and help these programs.
There's one other place that you can get that money that I was talking about to retain these teachers, and that is, and again, you got to have good teachers for this to happen. If the school gets a good grade on their testing, if you're an A school, B school,
Right.
C school, that money's differ.
The only thing with that is I don't agree with that, because I know a lot of teachers, they bust their rear end. They do their best in the classroom, but they are still not making the grades. And the reason why is because we have some parents that don't sit down with their kids and help them with their homework, and sometimes school's more of a babysitter than it is an actual place to educate.
And I'm not saying the babies. I'm not saying that they're not doing their job.
I just
I'm
hate
just
that
saying,
teachers being hurt by that.
I'm just saying,
and it's
take
not
that
their
money.
fault.
Take that money. I don't give a damn if you're a D school. Take
Right.
that money and give it to the teachers. Figure out how to split that up and give the teachers a pay raise. Come on, it can't be that damn hard.
The other thing is,
And that disturbs me. That's one of the things I keep hearing. Oh, Bradford County schools are the worst schools in the state. Blah blah blah. You're right, Mitchell. It's starting to elevate.
We got
However,
some great teachers.
and we need to keep them.
The other thing I'm going to say about that, and this is coming from somebody that used to teach, not all children can take tests. It is not an indication
Agreed.
of how intelligent they are. See, that's where the fallacy comes in with the whole, let's test them to give them a grade. Let's test them to make sure they're going from one grade to another or graduating. If you have a child that is sitting there and in class can do all the problems that are on that test, and as far advanced as he could possibly be with some of these tests that they're giving kids now, but gets to that test and blanks and cannot think because he's put under pressure like
Yes.
that.
And that happens a lot.
That happens a lot to a lot of kids. It is not right. Those tests should be used just like they used to be
As a
used.
measuring stick.
But the problem is when you start doing that, is different demographics will end up in all the lower classes, and we start screaming and yelling and hollering about it.
And just let people know this is not putting our school system down.
Absolutely
at all.
not.
This is a state regulated thing,
Yeah.
not
Yes.
not a school district.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to make that be clear.
Yeah.
First and foremost, if you want to get rid of the 3/4 of the nonsense that goes on in our school systems, you take it out of the hands of the federal government and put it back in the state's hands, which is originally where it was when they said everybody had to go to school. It was state controlled up until like 1976 or 1973, something like that. And then Florida had a teachers' strike, and it was part of the reason why the federal government started talking about federalizing our education system, which is the worst thing that you could possibly do to it, because
Yep.
you start adding a bunch of bureaucrats that don't know anything about education to it.
Right.
You start electing people to be the head of Education Association. Look, okay, so we're supposed to choose somebody that has education experience. But what type of education experience do they have?
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at stuff like that on a ballot? No. And plus, I'm not so sure that they're not just appointed anymore. And if you want somebody appointed by a bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. to run that, oh boy, do I have some news for you, because that depends on who has the most money and the most power. You're leaving your children in those hands, which is nonsense.
But another thing that I bring with me is a lot of years of construction experience, and I think that's very important to have. You take our high school; we got some of our equipment's old. The middle school, some equipment's old there as well. The good thing is we do have a new elementary school, Bradford Elementary, and I tell you what a beautiful facility that it is. I know Paul Stressing, he was the architect of that school and done an amazing job. If you haven't walked in there, it just screams
Your son
school
go,
spirit. It just springs tornadoes.
Yeah.
School spirit.
Yeah.
Your son
which
goes
is
there
great.
now.
Yes,
So you've been in there too.
I've been in it. Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful facility.
Yeah, I went to the banquet, to the football banquet there. It is a beautiful facility. It really is.
There's one thing I would like to be done though. We have Joe out there directing traffic.
Yep.
And I've almost seen him get hit twice taking Zane to school. And now that the mornings it's dark, it's really hard to see Joe. He tries to leave his lights on his vehicle so people can see him, but sometimes that blinds you and puts him in a blind spot where you can't see him. I would definitely be trying to put a light out there at the intersection where you pull in to drop your kids off, and also at the other end where the buses are at, to try to illuminate it a whole lot more, because that's a dangerous situation. And I know Joe, he's been working for the school system for a long time now, and keeping kids safe, getting to school and back home, and so we want to keep him safe as well.
Again, welcome on the spot. I'm sorry, go ahead. Welcome on the spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right alongside Byron Bagwell, mental gunner, Dave Holland. Welcome in. It is 8:29 Eastern Time, local time, as we get ready to wrap up the show here in a few minutes. I know, and I will get into that. I've been asked twice. I promise. I will get into that. But I wanted to let Mitchell come on because we don't get a chance to talk to him much. I thought this was big breaking news.
Yeah.
I really think so. Even though he's one of our own, I think that people need to know, and that people need to hear what he's got to say and what he's running for and what he stands for. And what a great opportunity then right here on this show. And I'm glad that he came on here and said what he said, because people need to realize that if anybody can help make change and is sincere about it, that's my word, and sincere and truthful and really want to do it, it's this guy right here. We talk it all the time. We talk it all the time. So I know that this is going to be a good candidate.
And I know me and the sheriff and Will Hartley and several others, we have complained about that intersection out there, 144th and 100, there by the gas station. And we was really hoping that we were going to get a traffic light in, but that's not going to happen. We're going to have a signal similar to what they have at 21B. And I hate to tell you, or I hate to tell FDOT, that was the biggest waste of daggum money they have ever spent in their life, because it is not going to work. You're still going to have a traffic crash there.
Wow.
And if one of them crash, if I'm on that school board and any student is on a bus or in a car going to school and get caught in a traffic accident and they get hurt, Tallahassee is going to have to deal with me, because that is just bogus bullcrap and laziness on FDOT. Pretty much the same laziness out here on this bypass when they didn't put daggum lights up at the daggum interchanges, and that they're now doing because Jason Dodds jumped all over them about it. And I appreciate Jason Dodds very much and what he does for our county and looking out for our citizens and jumping on them, and he's one of the reasons why those lights are going up out there at the ramps. Because of laziness, and you want to see another laziness thing, sorriness, go up here to 100 and 301 and look at that daggum stupid traffic signal mess. It looks like daggum something that you would see in a third world country. I mean, it's plumb ignorant. And whoever designed that, they need their daggum butts fired.
I can tell you
They
this,
designed
Mitchell.
it. They designed it to make money, Mitchell. That's what they designed that for. It has nothing to do with functionality or safety. They designed it to make money.
Me and Donnie and Shirley and Byron, we talked about this, that particular same intersection. I was at the Shell station grabbing me something to drink and almost seen 3 accidents.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
In like 7 and 8 minutes. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Well,
oh,
it's
yeah.
very confusing coming off of the overpass, and then you got that side road, and then you got those lights working that area
Yeah.
along with this other 3 sections.
Yes.
Well, and the thing is, you have that one place where you have the concrete median that separates you coming from downtown up to the light, and then you have you coming over the overpass down. Why do they have 2 lights up there
Yep.
that tell you to turn this way and turn that way? Get rid of one of those and slide it over so it's in the middle of that particular lane.
Lane.
Get rid of the other one that you only have one and slide it over this way so it's lining up with that lane.
Well, you got the traffic coming off the bypass, and then you got that little that road right beside it, and you got 2 lights, and they both tell you to turn right at the same time.
Right. But I'm telling you,
No, I don't think they tell you to turn right at the same time.
no, they're different.
Yeah, that
this
is
one,
different,
This
yeah.
one signals you first. That's over there in that one lane, and then
Yeah.
it goes red, and then it signals you here. But it's still very confusing.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get in a very bad traffic crash there.
I'm waiting on
and
the head. I'm waiting on the head-on collision.
They're
there.
going to die.
I'm waiting on
Even
the
though
head-on
it's a red
collision
light,
right there.
you can still turn right on red as long as you.
And
watch the
I hate to
traffic.
say this, if you're a city commissioner and you see that, that is your responsibility to, excuse my language, raise hell with FDOT, because that is going to get one of your citizens killed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have raised total hell with them and told them, no, you're going to have to come up with another plan. This one ain't going to work. You are not killing somebody in my town.
I can tell you, I'm waiting on the head-on collision right there. It's going to happen. If it ain't already happened, it's going to happen right there at that same intersection y'all are talking about. Because, like you said,
like I say,
Yep.
at the one at 144th and 100,
Yep.
if I'm elected and I'm in there and a kid gets hurt or killed, buddy, Tallahassee will
It's
not
gonna
be
stop.
able to get my daggum 13-inch tennis shoe out of their daggum rear end for a couple of years. Because I want to
you're
help
going to be at their doorstep
I want to
every.
help that family
Yep.
get what they deserve from their stupidity there at that intersection.
I agree.
Here's another one, and I think this may be worse than all 3 of them. How in the world do you justify that stoplight that they have now for the Hawthorne-Gainesville trailway that's in the middle of 100 right before the dump? You're going from 55 miles per hour to 60,
Yeah.
not 65, 60
60.
around a curve, and then all of a sudden you're on a stoplight for somebody walking across a road?
And let me bring back
Now,
some history.
There's no problem with the light and the crosswalk there. The problem is the mile per hour through there.
Yeah. Well, and around that curve that Byron said, there's been, how many accidents been there, Mitchell? Well, and that's the problem right there. We can bring back history. We can talk about how many accidents has happened
They've
around that
already had an
daggum
accident
curve.
there at the crosswalk.
Got the
Someone got hit on
crosswalk.
the
Yeah.
bicycle
Yes.
already.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's going to get killed there.
Yeah, they are.
And what's going to end up happening is a lot of people are going to end up getting killed because it's 60 miles per hour. There's no warning. All of a sudden, you've got 4 vehicles stopped in front of you, and you're driving 70 miles per hour because that's what people do when that 60 mile per hour sign comes.
Yeah.
It's the
They
mile per hour that's
step
the
on
that's
the
the problem.
gas.
The rails to trails thing is an excellent idea.
Sure.
But what got me mad was that they got a stoplight there for the rails to trails, and we can't even get FDOT to put a daggum stoplight down here
Yeah.
for people to get their kids
Yeah.
to and from school. at a bad intersection. And then another thing, when you come out of the gas station, they should have those markers out there that stick up, the pole markers down the center line, like they do in Gainesville at 13th
Yep.
and 39th. So cars cannot go and cut catty corner across.
So-
If they want to go across or turn left, they have to go to the stop sign.
Yes, they
They
do.
cannot catty corner, and that's another thing that needs to be done there. I don't mind hollering at people for stupidity to keep people safe.
That light
you already
that-
know. I've
all
already got
these-
a couple of things done. Got lowered out there on the bypass, which we still have traffic accidents, but I did get the speed limit lowered on both ends of the bypass coming up to the lights. Got no passing zones put out there in Mingdary Road, and me and Tom Germano worked hard and got the little signal things out there at 21B, which I think those work pretty good there,
Yeah.
but not at a place like that intersection. It's too busy to
Got
do that
those no
same thing.
passing lines painted down right there at 192,
Yeah, 109.
9.
109.
And the thing is, someone says, well, they still pass there illegally. I said, yep. And when they hit somebody and they kill them, guess
Yep.
what? They're going to be held responsible.
Responsible.
Yep.
Somebody at that light at 100 and 301 had a momentary lapse of reason.
Someone's like,
And I tell you, like I said, I'm waiting for the ball to drop on that one. There's going to be a head-on collision right there. I can assure you.
Oh, yeah.
Of that. There's no doubt. Your mama said it. Your dad said it. They live right there. They live right by there. They have to go that way a lot of times, or at least come back across that way. And your dad's told me he's seen it many times already. So.
yeah.
Hey, look, it's like common sense doesn't exist anymore. First off, you don't have very much warning that's there. Speed limit shouldn't be 60 if you're talking about the rails to trails thing.
I think there is a sign out there that there is a rails to trails ahead. I think there are warning signs out.
Coming from Keystone?
Both ways, I think so. I think there are triangular signs there. I'll
Tom
double
Bailey,
check.
Tom Bailey, school board. He's running for school board. Yeah. So
And just to get people straight, the school
Yeah.
board members, they make policies.
yeah.
That's what they do.
What district, Mitchell?
District 4.
District 4.
District 4.
District 4. So there you go.
Tom, no, and no, and no. That is not a cross any band director wants to die on. No. Play Dixie is not an option. That is so misunderstood, and it will never be really understood anymore until a lot of things change in this country.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the anthem for the South. I'm talking about the actual person who wrote that song, who was a black man. So I guess he was racist against himself, but that's not a cross any band director is going to die on because they will lose their job. No.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Olivia. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you very much. Elon Musk never pushed electric vehicles. I'm just going to read off these comments.
That's
I don't
true.
want to.
That's true. He
Yeah.
has not.
I don't want to comment on these. I just want to read them off because I want to keep the show progressing. You can just say yes or or shake your head. The government is one pushing electric vehicles, and the government would love to see all oil companies gone. Elon Musk makes them, but never pushed electric vehicles on folks. That's coming from Julie Antoinette Binion. Thank you for joining the show. Unless the world says no, D.A. Dennis Cruz, we got to save our own parts and build us Johnny Cash car and sell. Miss Binion again said that the same ones flying private jets, they love our environment, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Watterson, Preston Tucker went up against the big three and Uncle Sam. Sadly, he lost. Roy Jackson, welcome in. By the way, Johnny, welcome in. Hey, tow it all. Lisa Moody Tomlinson, good evening to you.
Hey, Lisa.
Good for you, Mitchell. Miss Shirley said you would do a great job. I have no doubt in my military mind. I don't care what you add on or what you cut off. You still can't change it. Coming from Miss Williams right there, Miss Ellen Disher Williams. Thank you for joining in. Thank God that's what America needs is more red-blood Americans to stand up for what is right and true. Amen. Governor Ron DeSantis, Miss Binion said. Okay. A lot of signs. Dave Holland Jr. or Echo Sound.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
He must be getting an echo sound.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Anthony Black, thank you for joining us. Tom Bailey, I think your question was already addressed. Austin, I'm glad you're tuning in. I'll have the weather here in just a minute. We just said what he was running for. Yes, I did. They are.
Wawa still coming?
Yeah, they are. They are still coming. They're still breaking ground over on the corner of Edwards Road
There
and 301.
there was a rumor going around.
It was a rumor.
that the
Yeah.
place was going to be too small, and they were putting it back up for sale after they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
So
But I think it's still in full effect. Guess what else I heard is coming? And I'm surprised you hadn't mentioned it, Mitchell. Buc-ee's is coming too as well. That's already in the plans and in the works.
Oh, goodness, that's not right.
So that is one thing that
Make a fat
that was
boy
talked about.
fatter.
Beaver Nuggets, man.
Yeah, buddy, man. I was just going to
Nuggets,
say, man, Buc-ee's, wait, is that where we're going to eat dinner and lunch sometime?
No, we don't want to start that, man.
No, absolutely not.
Between that and Zaxby's, I'm liable to gain another 20 pounds.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
want to tell you something about Buc-ee's real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Buc-ee's is a very well-paying company.
Yes, it
they
is.
believe in taking care of their employees. I want to say their store managers make close to $175,000 a year. If they have a car wash, that car wash manager makes $125,000 a year.
Yeah, there's some
their
big
staff,
salaries.
Their staff inside, I mean, they make. I want to say everything's $18 or $20
Right
and up.
up. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be really good for the area.
Yeah, it would be.
For a lot of people. You know, I might even put in for that job too, car wash guy.
There you go. Hey, $120,000 a year.
Play
Hey,
that
I bet
song
you can
over
get.
and over and over at the car wash.
$120,000 to be a manager of a car wash.
How about that? Tell the county commissioner, Michael Box, thank you and welcome in. I don't know where you're at today if you're driving. Tell the county commissioners take cut and pay and pass it on to the schools to keep the good teachers and start
They can't do
whooping the
that.
hell out of the bad students again.
Yeah, they can't do that because even though they are Bradford County
Can't do that.
commissioners, it is a separate part
entity.
of government.
Thank you for watching from South Georgia, Frank Cruz. Think how many travelers are unfamiliar with that intersection. Accidents waiting to happen. I think you addressed that pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
You're right, it is. The absence of flashing lights on 144th when there are unused lights at closed schools. Good point, Johnny Wilson.
I want to let you know, they are working on getting the lights for the school zone area in front of the school. That is coming. I don't know when they're going to get here, but they are on order, my understanding.
Good.
But yeah, I have seen several cars go through there about 30 and 40 miles an hour in the morning. And of course, if I got my window down, I say, "Hey, slow down, buddy."
Yeah, slow down, pal.
I hollered at one of them one day, and Joe, he started laughing at me.
They're good.
Slow
Good
down.
for you.
Just slow down.
Barbie says, "All right, guys, it's our bedtime." She says, "We'll see you soon." Good night,
night,
Barbie.
Barbie.
Yeah, good night. Thank you for tuning in. Buc-ee's is un-American and hates truck drivers. They refuse to fly the American flag. I did not know that about them, Mitchell. Did you? Michael
Didn't know
Box,
that.
you travel the roads, so I'm going to take your word on this. I'm going to research that. Wow, I did not know that.
Fly an American flag.
I
know they
didn't either.
like truck drivers because they
I didn't know that
They
either.
don't service truck drivers. I don't think.
So
I don't do. Does Buc-ee's have the diesel bays for truck drivers?
Mitchell, do you know
I've been to
Michael
a
Box?
Buc-ee's
Do they?
one
Maybe
time.
I've
Michael
never
Box.
seen a semi at one.
Hey, maybe Michael Box can answer that. So Johnny Watterson, Buc-ee's has an amazing brisket daily. I do know that too. Yes,
That'd make
they
you
do.
want to smack your
Mama.
mama.
Yeah. Tom Bailey, amen. Yeah, Wawa is 100% coming. I talked to developers today concerning it, and that's coming from Drew Mullins himself. So there you go.
And I tell you, Wawa's got some good food as well.
Yes, they do. Those subs, man. Never mind. Have you eaten yet?
And their gas prices are
Yeah.
cheaper
Oh, man.
than pretty much everybody else as well.
So, all right. Hey, it's 8:45 Eastern time, man. We could talk for hours. We could go till midnight.
No.
No, you're tired.
No,
Mitchell's
no,
tired.
no, no.
Mitchell's ready to go now. He's tired. He's ready. He's ready to sleep.
I took a
But-
I took a like a 30, 45 minute power nap before I came.
So you're
That's
good.
why I was a little late.
Yeah, you're good.
Here's the thing about this. We could talk to midnight, but I know I'll
Absolutely.
pay for it in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
No, that's no.
Mitchell, before we get off your segment there, and thank you for breaking that news. I wish you well in that. You
Well,
know,
I love
we've
my
got.
community.
Yep.
You know, even though I'm not on a board or anything
Wow.
like that, I still serve my community and try to
I'll
do
let
my
you say it.
best to do things for our citizens. One of those things that's coming out actually is the Strawberry Festival. There's
that's
going to be a car show and part of that. I'm doing all the legwork behind the scenes. This man right over here, he's going to run it for me.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I have to race that weekend,
That weekend.
at Gainesville.
Well, we'll take care of it.
So everything will be fine, ordered in tune, and handed over to David, and he can handle it. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Used to be. He said, nope, they don't allow us on the lot. And Tom Bailey drives too. He says 18-wheelers are banned from Buc-ee's. I didn't realize that. I didn't know. Wow.
I've been to a Buc-ee's one time, and I think it was one in St. Augustine, and I didn't remember seeing. I know there weren't any semis on that lot, but I didn't remember seeing anything that was designed for semis. So apparently they don't.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
as
I've
much
never-
money
I've
as they
never-
could make off of the diesel.
Right.
Well, you know what might be coming later is a pilot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. That's
on the other
exactly
side
right.
for truck drivers, a place to wash their trucks and take showers and all that.
I do
A
want to.
little truck stop.
I do want to tell you one thing before we go on to a different subject, Mitchell. If you need help, and I'm available to do it, I'll be glad to help you do anything.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what the crew and I know Byron was talking about himself, but we can include all of us.
I didn't want to
definitely.
speak for you because
No.
I know how
Yeah.
Well, I
busy you
still
are
got to
and
do
how
my
busy it is.
filing
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So there's just my announcement that I
Yeah.
will be running.
We'll do what we can to definitely help you out. Yes, Tom Bailey, Miss Craig is currently the school board member for District 4. Yeah, yes, she is.
Yes.
No doubt about it. Ellen Dishwin said, good luck on your race. You didn't notice how clean they were? Loves is better than Pilot. Okay.
Well,
That's
Loves, that'd be just as good too.
Good too. I'm okay with that too. So,
Because just think about all that revenue that
Revenue
you'll
either
get,
way.
the tax revenue that you'll get off that gas for the Bradford County. It'll be amazing. Help us with our roads.
all right. So 8:48 Eastern time. I'm gonna wrap up the show with these last couple of things here, Mitchell. Before and if you want to go, I'll let you. Or if you want to stick with us, that's fine. Tell everybody about On the Spot Motorsports page and how they can get to it and when your next show is.
Sure, it's real easy. You just go on the spot Motorsports Media. Just put Motorsports Media in there instead of David Rodgers, and it'll pop up on your Facebook. You can also follow us on YouTube because when we do our podcast, they are on both platforms, and we are trying to work toward another platform, which the government may get rid of it before we get started, and that's TikTok. But we'll see how that comes out. That's going to be on the board, but we only use it for business purposes only.
Right.
But yeah, just come and join and watch the podcast. The next podcast is going to be on the 21st. And like I said, we're going to talk to the gentleman with the Callahan Dragway.
Nice.
They done away with Jack's Raceway years ago. And so there's a lot of street racing going on through that area. And this is to try to tone that down, let people come out there with their street machines and be able to have fun in a safe environment.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. So that's going to be a really good, interesting interview there. And just stay tuned to the page. We'll post a calendar up. All the bracket races at Gainesville Raceway are live streamed on Saturday and Sunday, and every once in a while I'll do a race for a promoter. So we got some great things coming up at Gainesville. I hope I get to live stream this because it's going to be really great. In October, they're going to have the Night of Fire.
Oh.
And so there's going to be nitro cars there. There's going to be jet cars, all different other classes that will be running as well. And I will be posting that information as I receive it from Gainesville Raceway. They also do a night of fire in Orlando and a couple of other places in the nation, and it's really quite an experience. And I know both of the ladies who drive those jet cars. So
Wow.
I have a question for you, and this is on the subject of racing. The racetrack that's up by the airport in Jacksonville, is it still open? The Mods track? I think it's Mods track.
The Pecan Park track?
Yeah.
The Pecan Park track? I don't think it is.
Yeah,
No, it is.
Yeah,
it
it
is
is.
open. Yep, it is because I remember a guy that I work with, his name's Jason Kite, loves the, he races dirt and, he races oval as well. And he did tell me it was open. So,
It's still,
yeah,
it's
it's
still
still.
open.
mhm.
Okay. Well, that's like Bronson. Bronson is gone. We talked about that at one time. That's how sad that is.
well, there was I did hear rumors that they wanted a bunch of volunteers to come out and start cutting the grass down and cleaning up the place and hopefully revive it. That would be really great. I mean, you've had Mark Martin race there, and you've had Mark Martin's kid race there as well. It's a good location, not a whole lot of houses around, so you're not going to have angry residents around you. And if I hate to tell you this, if you move into an area that's got a racetrack and you start complaining about the noise, you got a problem. You should have thought that before you built your house there. Don't make the track go away because you don't like the noise. The track was there before you.
There are some houses that are back behind it, but they're a distance away, and there's some houses across the street behind the Jiffy store that's right across from it. But it still is a great location.
Oh yeah. So I'm hoping they'll bring that back. Shoot, it's been what, 15, 20 years since they raced at Bronson Speedway. But
Sad.
and the thing is, if the asphalt's tore up real bad on the track, I know it'll be kind of dangerous because it does have some high banks. But you could put clay on there and turn it to a dirt track.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And it'll be one fast dirt track.
So you know where you can catch On the Spot Motorsports Media. Just reach out to Mitchell. Check that page out. Wonderful, wonderful pictures. Wonderful, wonderful stories. Writes great stories. Again, Mitchell also is running for school board, District 4. So stay tuned into that. I'm sure we'll have him back on the show. We'll be talking about this further as that time comes. Just wanted to hit a couple of things. I won't take too long. It's almost in the 9 o'clock hour. We've been almost going 2 hours, guys. And like I said, we could be going back for a couple of more hours. But I want to thank everybody that's tuned in tonight. Thank you. Y'all are the ones that drive this show just like you do Mitchell's show. It's the viewers, man, that counts.
That's it.
And we really appreciate you guys. If it wasn't for you, we're just sitting here talking to that screen, or we're talking to each other and we're just bouncing, which is fine too. But we want to have you guys tuning in. So yeah, it'd be like bouncing down. Yeah, you're right.
This is the stuff that we talk about. It's
Yes,
typical
exactly right.
conversation if
Conversations.
we sit around and talk to each other.
Yep, this is it. So, and again, I want to encourage people. Man, bring some topics up. I know that Mitchell, I'm sure Mitchell will take it too. If you're wanting for him to try to interview somebody, Mitchell will take all that as well. But usually you have a guest set up. You usually know your topic and what you're talking about. We usually thrive on this page here, which is still your page as well. We thrive on what the audience says and what we've come up with for that particular week. Like Byron said, I don't know how many times we've been in a stream of one topic and then we see something else and it sort of ties in and then we just keep going and going.
Right.
You've watched the page, so you know too as well. So just want to hit a couple of things. Yes, if you haven't heard, I was asked today, Jimmy Crosby did resign as the city clerk as of last Wednesday night. And that is pretty official. Again, I don't know any details into it. All I know is that he resigned. I know there's a city commission meeting going on right now. I'm sure that is being talked about, along with some other things as well.
They have to appoint someone, which it may be Drew Mullins.
That's what I was telling Byron.
That may fill
The
that
county-
role until
the city manager.
they have a special election. They're going to have a special election.
Yep.
To or I don't know if the governor may appoint somebody.
Step in and appoint
Yeah,
somebody.
that's very possible. The governor may appoint someone to take that role.
So there you go on that. So there was, yeah, man, I even hate to get into this, and I hate to close the show off with this, but it's all over the news, breaking news. Mitchell has helped us, get the information out. But last night, if you haven't heard, it's all over all the main media streams, all over social media. There was unfortunately, evil struck our county, as it says right here in Lottie, where I live at. This actually happened about 3.5 miles from my house. There was a triple murder that happened there of a grandmother and 2 aunts, and they do have a suspect in custody. I've known this man for a while. He used to work out with me at SMI and CMC, and I just Johnny Bernard Brown, 46. I think Mitchell may know him as well. Is charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder of his wife and his 2 stepdaughters. And this 11-year-old was a survivor, a young lady that's got to live with this now and try to piece her life together. So I want prayers to go out to their families and to this little girl. Any kind of support that you can give. This is really, really horrible news. I'm not going to read this article. I was going to, and I'm just not going to do it. But if you can help out in any way, please reach out to that family and anybody that's in
I
that
do want
support
to say
system.
one thing, David. What a very brave 11-year-old girl.
Oh,
picked up the
absolutely.
phone and called for help.
Yeah. And again, yeah, you're exactly right. And I hated that this is going to resonate Mitchell and Byron and David and our viewing audience for the rest of her life. Even when she becomes adult, she's, and she starts having a family of her own, this is always going to resonate in her mind. And just pray for this young lady and, like I said, the rest of the family that is involved. Just a horrible thing.
Lottie's a very tight community.
Yes, we are.
And everybody knows everybody in Lottie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's just, me and Byron talked a little bit about this. I didn't get a chance to, and me and Byron just like, man, we just solemned our voice down. And like I said, I hate to end with this kind of a story, but you can read all about it on that News for Jags. It's on our local Bradford County word of mouth and any other social media sites on our page as well. So if you want to read about that, you can.
yeah, I just didn't want to go into it more.
Yeah.
I wanted to wait the whole investigation's
Absolutely. And
Over. If
there's
DLE, the sheriff's office, whatever
Yeah.
they put out, then we will put that
still
information out. when
still
that
ongoing
happens.
investigation
Yeah,
right now. Still going ongoing.
Because there's no telling what exactly is going on right now. There is no. Just because Jimmy resigned doesn't mean that there was anything. It doesn't necessarily mean. It's a pretty good clue, but it doesn't necessarily mean that anything he was doing was wrong. But
Correct.
we'll find out.
We'll find out as that. So we'll bring you that and more.
Because honestly, if there's no other way to say it, if I had his record and FDLE come and search the city hall, I probably would resign too, just to avoid the fact that the majority of the citizens of the county are going to go.
Point the finger. No. Dave, do you want to bring up the weather real quick? And then we'll close the show down.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Go ahead and do the weather, and then I'll lighten everybody's mood a little bit.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a joke.
Okay.
Joe Biden.
Hey, just real quick before you go to the weather,
Yeah.
I want to thank Red Line Oil. Team Red Line Oil is now associated with On the Spot Motorsports Media. We will be showing their commercials
Really?
there in our podcast and also through our live stream of our races. So I want to thank Mark Beatty for coming on board and being part of On the Spot Motorsports Media
Nice.
with that product. Go check them out, Red Line Oil.
Red Line
Congratulations,
Oil.
Mitchell.
Congratulations
That's great.
on that, and for us too as well. Yeah, you can go ahead and bring up the weather, Dave, if you want.
Sure.
Y'all right?
One more
Yeah, no
thing.
problem.
I'm
Go,
just
let's go
messing,
ahead.
I'm just messing with you.
So, yeah. So, looking at the forecast right now, going on the 9 o'clock hour, it's 64 degrees outside. Winds blowing southeast at 4 miles an hour, and there's a 5% chance of rain. That means it's going to storm. Tomorrow is going to be mostly sunny, 80 degrees with a low of 54, no chance of rain. Thursday is going to be sunny, Byron, 82 degrees, low of 62, no chance of rain there. Now, here we go. Here's where it starts getting interesting. Friday.
Let's go to rain.
Yes, isolated thunderstorms, 85 for a high, 65 for a low, 60% chance of rain. Saturday, though, you get mostly sunny again, 85 with a low of 66, 30% chance of rain. Sunday, partly sunny, 86, 67 for a low, 20% chance of rain. And to start your work week on Monday, as you can see, there's going to be scattered thunderstorms, 78 degrees, low of 50, and again, 50% chance of rain. So be prepared for the weather, Byron. Sounds like it's going to be pretty mild as far as temperatures, both during the day and in the evening. Looks like a little bit of rain here and there, but hey, maybe we can get some yard work done if we can keep the pollen off of us, brother. I tell you, ooh, my goodness.
I went outside for about 2 hours the other day, and it just about killed me for a day and a half.
Yes, so, all right, guys, thank you for joining the show tonight. Thank you, viewing audience. Thank you for coming on and sharing time with us, and we enjoy sharing time with you. I want to thank Mitchell for coming on the show tonight and hanging out with us for a couple hours and updating us on the Gator Nationals and what he's going to be doing in the future with his running of school board. And we're going to have him on several times, I'm sure, to discuss things that he's going to be doing and campaigning and all the good stuff that's going to be coming as that time comes. Also, I want to thank Mr. Byron Bagwell for joining us tonight as well, our host as always. Thank you, Byron.
Final thoughts tonight, or no? Or you?
Do we want to do what now?
Final thoughts?
Yeah, here in just a second.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, for just a second. No, you're good. You're
Didn't know
good.
if you wanted to do that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Dave Holland, producing and directs your show. Thank him as always. And I tell you, I just enjoy doing this show. I enjoy it when there's people here. Yes, can I do it by myself? Absolutely, I can. Byron do it by himself? Yes, he can. Mitchell? Yes, he can. Dave? Yes, he can. But it's better when you're bouncing the information between 3 and 4 people because it gets your mind rolling, gets your mind, toward, hey, if he said something, oh, man, that triggers something there, and then it just feeds and rolls and feeds and rolls. And that's why I tell Mitchell, man, anytime you want to come on, man, you don't even have to ask. Just come. Just come on. But he's got his own thing he's doing over there, and it takes a lot of work to keep that page up as well.
It has been a lot of work.
Yeah, it has.
I go to work. I come home.
Yes.
I'm writing stuff. I go to sleep. I wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I see a story.
You're right.
I'm writing, and then I go back to sleep.
Yeah.
It's
Ellen Disher Williams, yes, thank you. May God be with that family and that young lady. Pray for Bradford County. Absolutely, we live here. This is our home, and America too. Yes, for sure. Mitchell, real quick, final thoughts, man. Anything that resonates to you or that you may want to mention?
hug and tell your family that you love them every day before you leave,
man,
because you
I'm
never
glad you
know
said that.
what's waiting around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 2 things. The end conversation that we had the other night, I asked the question, is God omnipotent? And there was a place I was going with that. I just wanted to refresh your mind so we can get to it next week.
Absolutely.
And the second thing is everybody think of what absolutely famous maxim from the Communist Manifesto Joe Biden was spewing on his State of the Union
address.
Union address the other night. I wanted to choke him through the TV.
He was taunting.
Yeah. And Dave is with us here. Get ready, close out the show. Final thoughts for me is definitely what Mitchell said. I want to resonate with that. Please love and hug your family. Don't go to bed in a disagreement, because you never know, like Mitchell said, what's going to happen. You know, always tell your family you love them. send them a message, whatever you got to do, hug their necks, because I tell you, like this poor family here, man, you know, probably that afternoon, Byron, I'm just guessing here, and I'm just speculating. Probably that afternoon, I'm assuming everything was probably pretty good. Fine, you know, everybody's probably having dinner or something. Something spewed this off. We'll find out what that is. And then it just escalated from there. And like Mitchell said, you just never know, man. If you get into that point where you are going to physically hurt somebody or hit somebody, please walk off. Please go get some fresh air. Please drive off. Go spend the night at your family's house, something until the situation cools off. This is what happened here. Again, I don't know all the details as far as mentals or anything like that. We'll let that play out. But something triggered that, and it just happened, man. And it happened just like that, Byron and Mitchell, in a split second. So please, please take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Tell everybody you love them. Me and these guys, we tell each other we love you all the time, man, because you just never know. And when you say it, mean it. Because some people say, oh, just say it. You know what I mean? Say it and mean it when you do say it. On behalf of Mitchell Gunner, Byron Bagwell, the Dave Holland, I'm Dave Rodgers. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with you next Tuesday. God bless you. Have a great week and a great weekend.